Andrew, look at us. We dress like fans. Let's admit it. There's a better way to do this. I'll admit it. And it's going to elitesports.com using code SQUARE at checkout. There, you can shop the whole list of Texas State athletes that they have signed under the Elite Sports brand. We're talking about custom brands for each athlete. And when you buy from them, you get to buy and support, athletes under the NIL deal. So it's a great way to give back to the program, give back to Bobcat straight up, and support your favorite podcast. I was going to congratulate you, actually. Thanks for joining us after the all-white party.
Oh yeah, yep. I was out there at Michael Rubin's place. It was pretty cool. You were giving me grief earlier about being a billionaire now, and this is the life I live now. I live in I keep my costs low. I get my cup of noodles. That's how the billionaires live, dude.
I told
You're spending money on too much dumb stuff.
I saw like videos and pictures come out of that. Tom Brady, Michael Parsons, Horace Grant was there, everybody. And Grant Williams. Some of those names are like, what? Of course, DJ Khaled was there. But I saw like all these people posting about it yesterday. It's 4th of July, big hoorah at a billionaire's house.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, no wonder the faction of America believes in like lizard people. And like,
I was gonna say,
as soon as I saw that, I was like, they're onto something.
But I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can fucking die with them or not. I'm not going to.
For the people who are like trying to fight conspiracy theorists, these billionaires are not doing us any
not
favors.
A good look.
Like, I'm out here trying to fight anti-Semitism tooth and nail, and these guys are like, you know what? What if we got every important? But here's the thing, Jacob. Can you name 250 celebrities? Because that's how many people are allegedly there. It was 250 of the A-list celebrities. Which, if there's 250
Vince Vaughn
of them,
there, I can name anybody in like a Ben Stiller, Adam Sandler, like those guys.
That's what I said. I was like, the 250 feels like more than just an A-list. Like,
that's like that's not even that many people. Because there was a lot of athletes there. Like, if you just think about like how many athletes there are,
See, but here's my thing. I don't think 250 is too many. I think that the A-list needs to be like under 75. Like I think it's the 75 most important or most famous people, and then everybody after that, there's like tiers to this. You know what I mean? 250 is a lot of people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to be on an A-list, I don't know.
Well, that's why you saw some people in like hats and blazers and stuff. I think some people got the message, like, "Hey, wear this, and you're really in." This shade of off-white.
That was my problem. I ended up wearing cream, and it was a white party. It was just, it was tough.
Kind of a rough week for you too. You got laid off from ESPN, just like everybody else.
I was at the billionaire party and also got laid off. Yeah, you know what? It happens to the best of us. Me and Steve.
Did you mention the LinkedIn connections over there at the all-white party?
Yeah. I want to know whose agent gets to go to that, because somebody's agent's like, Rich Paul probably went. That's how he gets all those guys. Yeah, I know all my friends got laid off at ESPN, which is very tough. I made this joke earlier in the year when ESPN laid off a bunch of the behind-the-scenes people, and I was telling somebody that, I spent 6 years networking, building a LinkedIn connection, doing all this, and then within one day, I kid you not, 90% of my ESPN connections were laid off. Like, it was within one foul swoop. I had to write, I want to say it was closer to 15 emails to people being like, sorry about your recent, exit from ESPN. I wish nothing but the best going forward. I sent like 15 of those emails out. It took me 6 years to cultivate those relationships for nothing to come of them. Only friendships.
So is this,
and those aren't good for anything.
I come to you now as Professor Zimmel, soon to be, basically, after the release of this book. You think this is the end of broadcast media? Like, everybody's just firing half of ESPN because of Pat McAfee's contract there?
So here's the deal, Jacob. It's anybody can do these jobs. You and I prove that. So you don't really need the name attached. A smarter person than me made the point that all of ESPN essentially is just paid programming to the next live event. Like, all their daily lineup is just to get you to the evening when the NBA game's on, or the NFL game's on, or college football game's on. That's really what fans want. They want that. They don't really care who's giving them their hot takes. because there's so many options now. So is broadcast dead? No, I don't think so. But it is interesting to see that the careers that I think a lot of people 5 years ago wanted, you think about the 17 to 22 demographic, they wanted to be the next Stephen A. Smith. I think a lot of those jobs are going away. I think that if you're a college kid or a high school kid coming in, you realize that you just got to pick up a microphone and start doing it. And, Stephen A. Smith, I think the pedestal it's kind of shaky.
You know what I hate that ESPN does is what they do with women in their coverage, because you and I are huge proponents of women in sports media, Kate Connors, Mina Kimes, Malika Andrews. But the way that they just make the women be the transitionary to either a break or to somebody out in the field in between either Stephen A. Smith or whatever pundit they have, just fighting each other. It's so annoying because it's like, okay, I see what the studio is trying to do here.
The worst job in sports for the longest time was the person who was in between Stephen A. and Skip Bayless, and that was Carrie Champion for years. Carrie Champion had to deal with that, and I felt bad for her because it was allegedly was sold to her as the idea that it'll be a 3-person show, and it never turned into that. She had to just be for lack of better word, essentially the ringside person, right? That holds up the cards. That's what she was for the longest time during those first take days. And she's a much more talented journalist and a much more important part of that show than what they were making her out to be. So it's disappointing. And we still see it today.
I think there's going to be a big transition for broadcast with how soccer coverage does their ads, there's just ads all the time, all over the place, but not really a break in play, with media timeouts and stuff like that in football. I think we're going to see something like that, or we take the Whopper thing, but it's a big box for the commercial and a small box for the game continuing to play. I think there's going to be a lot more of that.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know how you do that with daily content, you know what I mean? And you talk about ESPN, let's talk about my baby, ESPN Radio. That's essentially dead. ESPN Radio that's lasted for 20 years is on its deathbed. The nail, the rattle, it is rough. I could have told you this was coming. I saw the writing on the wall years ago. But the days that we grew up with Michael Mike and Levitard's show, SVP and Rosillo, Colin Cowherd, those days are long gone, and it is very sad to see what has happened to ESPN Radio, because that was my dream growing up, was to be at ESPN Radio, and now I don't know if that'll exist in a year. So it's tough.
Tired of winning the tailgate but losing the games? We can't help that. But we can tell you what the hell is up with each team and what's going on across sunny San Marcos. Texas State fans, get on your feet. You're listening to Squarin' Around with Jakob Rodriguez and Andrew Zimmel.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Squarin' Around. I'm Jakob Rodriguez. That's the Texas State Sports Press, Andrew Zimmel. This is the show where we talk about everything Texas State. Andy, I wanted to get to a start talking about not something that has anything to do with Texas State, but something that impacted us and the way that we roll out content on this show is Elon Musk fucking up Twitter to the point of which, I'm a journalist, a working reporter, and I was immediately tapped out on some of those early, read rate limits. And I checked back on our account, immediately tapped out because we both share it and probably were on it at the same time. And then it didn't get better for 3 days. And now it's kind of basically the same. But to combat this, we have now made a Facebook page for Squarin' Around at Squarin' Pods, the same app, same everything. It's run by me and Zimmel. It'll be the same content being posted there. It's basically our backup in case Elon ever does anything again, because we are taking Mark Zuckerberg's side in the fight to end all fights. Probably the fight that'll change the fight industry as a whole, I think.
You said a lot of stuff there. I want to break it down, right? So Elon Musk, terrible person, even worse businessman when it comes to Twitter. You were joking about getting tapped out. Immediately, I got tapped out on Twitter, and I had to go to the worst place to get your sports news, Instagram. I was on Instagram looking for updates on trade stuff because I think it was what is going to happen, Damian Lillard trades, stuff like that. I was going on Instagram, looking at Instagram fan pages, trying to figure out what was going on. Awful, awful experience. We made the Facebook page. The Facebook page, I think, is going to be incredible. I know there's a lot of Texas State fans, older Texas State fans that don't know us, that are going to be able to be tapped in now. So if you have a friend or a family member who is a Texas State alum, fan, whatever, send them the page because it's out there. They can get all the clips. We're going to update the clips, put everything up there. I don't know if we'll put the backlog or not, what the plan is, but the main event, Zuck versus Musk. Now, we joked about this earlier. We both picked Zuck. I'm going with Zuck because I had a boxing person tell me one time that if you fight a boxer, even if a boxer's only been to like 6 weeks worth of classes, he's going to kick your ass because having the fundamentals and just having a little bit of training makes you a 10 times better fighter than somebody who's never been in the ring before. And Zuck, I hate him more than probably anybody else on the planet, except Elon Musk, who's number one on the hate list. And he has never been, in a ring like Zuck has. So give me Zuck.
Listen, I've been watching Joe Rogan since I was 12 years old. I've been watching UFC since the very early days when people were like, wow, you watch that?
Losing eyes, yeah.
Wearing tap-out shirts in middle school. I was a loser. I have a lot of opinions on this as a martial artist, too. Elon Musk posted a picture this week with him, George St. Pierre, one of the greatest fighters. He's my favorite fighter ever. He's a GOAT for me. I think there's a lot of debate as to who exactly is the GOAT in combat sports. GSP is my GOAT. And
John
Lex
Bones
Friedman.
Jones?
John Bones Jones is a steroid freak of nature.
All right.
And even regardless of what he does now, it kind of like he could have been so good, like he could have been the guy to end all guys. But now he's just kind of be like a shadow of what he could have been. And in my mind, that's kind of sad. It's kind of like the Cowboy Cerrone thing. How Cowboy went out just getting knocked out 3 separate occasions in the last 3 shitty fights that he did. I was like, just get out, go do BMF content at your ranch, bro. Anyway, he posted a picture recently, Elon Musk did, of him training with George St. Pierre, Lex Friedman, who's a jiu-jitsu guy, and also he has his own podcast, John Danaher, who is George St. Pierre's jiu-jitsu coach, and he also coaches, or he used to coach, I should say, Gordon Ryan, who's the best jiu-jitsu competitor in the country ever. Ever. He's the go to jiu-jitsu. He's getting pretty serious. And this is kind of like me teetering back into my, like, hey, a fight is still a fight. Anything can happen. Mark Zuckerberg might come into this as like the odds-all favorite, probably. But all Elon has to do is get one lucky punch in. Also, I should say, this fight is not even really official yet. It's just like officially official, I guess.
Does it need to be licensed by anybody? That's the big thing. Because I know that, like, I don't think Nevada's going to give either of these guys like fighting license. I don't think Los Angeles or California is going to do it. So, like, does it matter? Could they just do this on a boat, or could they go back to Fight Island?
They could, yeah. I guess the UFC owns that property. I mean, they could set it up very fast, like ADCC, the Abu Dhabi, like big jiu-jitsu tournament. That's done obviously over there, and they're huge fans of watching fights. So, and the Saudis are just throwing money at everything sports related right now.
And
so could you imagine that?
When it comes to like getting something off the ground very quickly, the Saudis are really good at that. They were able to build an entire like multi-soccer stadium complex in Qatar, and then also the entire live tournament they've built within a couple of years. So I imagine that getting one fight wouldn't be that hard to do. And we joke about this. We joked about the Jake Paul fights and stuff like that. I really like the idea of a celebrity death match. If this is how billionaires want to spend their time beating the crap out of each other, I'm okay with it. Give me the bread and the circus. If this is how we all go down, I'm fine with it.
I would much rather watch this go down, even hypothetically, right? It's been pretty fun to see it in like ESPN headlines and like shows across America.
Not been happy about that, but
You're not. I know it's kind of taken over like actual coverage. Like a hypothetical fight. It's not even really booked yet. Dana White just said we'll make it happen. Blah blah blah. I mean, I guess if Rough and Rowdy can get licenses for fights, I'm sure the UFC can.
I guess so, but also this is stealing breath from the Brett Favre happening in Mississippi. Give me those headlines. That's what I need. Get some of those reporters on that.
Also, like Mark Zuckerberg's 100% on steroids. Elon Musk is about to be 100% on steroids because Jeff Bezos got on steroids like immediately as soon as he left the board. So like, I don't think USADA is going to be testing, or WADA or whatever testing agency. I don't think they're going to have a big part in all this.
No, I don't think so either.
How many of those protein powders you think they'll test positive for too? They're gonna be on Alpha Brain, everything that Joe Rogan sells, basically. Maybe even stuff that Alex Jones
I
sells.
was gonna say they're gonna be on the Alex Jones stuff, bro.
I also wanted to toot my own horn a little bit, Andrew. We got a new look for Squaring Around, kind of. It's like not really a new look. It's just different graphics and stuff. I needed to not compress our video so many times, basically, after exporting it for the top to cover the black bar of Zoom and the bottom. So I've now produced some stuff in a better way.
Congratulations, graphic designer.
Well, it's cool because I uploaded all those clips to YouTube this week, and I think it was like 30 that I was missing. So now we have like almost 200 clips just on Twitter. It's crazy. So those will live on YouTube, as you were saying, or on Facebook, as you were saying earlier. And I don't think I'll upload the backlog. I'll just start from this day forward.
That's fine.
Make it easier on myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any problem with that.
Yeah. But boom, new things. Happy fun times. Let's go into some Texas State headlines, Zimmel. In an effort to continuing coverage on the baseball team as long as possibly possible, we're talking about baseball. Headed back to the juice box, talking about ringing things out for the Houston, where is this? The Astros Foundation College Classic next year. So even after kind of a little bit of a stinker at the end of the year, Texas State Bobcats still on top.
Nah, this is what we call already moving on to the next thing. The season ended, right? LSU's on top, and now the season's over and you move into the next season. Now it's already 2023-24. And I think that's how a lot of these guys are looking at it. So this is the first headlines of the 23-24 season, Jacob. You got to just completely separate yourself from last year. We're already into the new season. This is the off season for the new season. We're ready to go.
The first game, by the way, is March 1st, 2024 at Minute Maid Stadium. That'll be Houston versus Texas State at 11 in the morning. The next day, Texas State will play Texas at 3 p.m. And then the Sunday, March 3rd, 2024, Texas State will play LSU at 3. So,
God damn.
It's pretty spicy, pretty early in the season.
Talk about a good tournament. Golly. So Houston's the worst of those three teams.
Dead ass.
You're going up against a team that was the number one seed coming into the Big 12 tournament, Texas. So they won the regular season Big 12 tournament or championship, regular season. Then defending national champion LSU. Holy cow. And that's on Sunday that we play LSU?
Yeah, we play LSU on Sunday. And luckily, Louisiana, a.k.a. Lafayette, or however you want to refer to them as. But they're also being in the tournament. And Vandy is also in the tournament. We don't play either, but scary.
That might be the best early tournament in the country. Like, I'm not saying that hyperbolically. I mean, like, legitimately, because you said Vandy?
Yeah, Vandy's in there.
Oh, yeah. So just another team that is like one of the top 7 teams in the country. That is one of the best tournaments. Now, the funny thing is, way too early, Texas State's the worst team. Of all those teams that are listed, maybe Houston was like fighting for it. So we are going to come in as massive underdogs. If we can steal 2 games out of those 3, that is a incredible success. And again, we're talking about like this 9 months ahead of time. But can we get to March of 2024? That's the real question. Will we be around for that? I hope so.
It's just scary. I've been here before. Like 2 years ago, we were in this same tournament. It was fine. It was just kind of cool to see them on that stage, right? And then they went on to have like an incredible like back half of the season. And I don't even think anybody could really predict that based off of the success that they had in that tournament, right? Won a couple games, had a good showing against a couple of good teams. Not included in this tournament. Texas Tech, Texas A&M. So I don't know. Just interesting to see the different looks that you get, mid-season basically. Not even really mid-season. This is
early season.
Early.
Yeah, this
early.
is the beginning of the season. Yeah. That'd be cool. If you can go to that game, you should, though, because that's to see the national champions play. Like, Texas State's only played, I'm trying to think. The last time Texas State played a national champion or defending champion was Coastal Carolina, and I want to say it was 2018 when they were coming off their title and then just joining the Sun Belt. So Texas State, they have a history of playing really competitive teams tight, especially in these type of games. So we'll see if they can get it done.
Ooh, I actually have a rank for Levi Wells, who participated in the MLB Draft Combine. So, like, the whole field of players was 323. Very cool. Levi Wells, a right-handed pitcher, Did not graduate last year, I should correct. He's included in this MLB.com top 2023 draft picks. Ready for this? I'm pretty sure, I don't want to talk out of my ass though, but he should be 96
Of 300?
of 323.
So top third.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, Levi
Oh, yeah.
Wells, right-handed pitcher, 96, listed at 6'2", 216 pounds.
Now, the real question, though, is top third. So you said 96 out of 300 plus. Not good enough to leave school and try to get drafted. Because if you end up getting drafted, let's say in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, you know you're going to go to AA, maybe high A. And you're like, all right, what does that look like? Would I rather be playing at a minor league in a minor league system or playing at Texas State? Now, I think for the majority of guys, especially at this area of the country, so you think UT, you think Texas State, you think UTSA, the majority of those players, I imagine, would prefer to live in Central Texas for another year, come out again, see what happens. Because we've seen that occur a couple times now with some Texas State guys who had the chance to leave early, decided not to, stayed for their senior season, and then got drafted a year later in a higher round. So I think that odds are Wells will stick around. It is a good idea, though, to go to these things just to kind of see how you match up with your competition. How do you match up with the other guys in your class? How do you match up with the other guys in that same kind of ballpark, right? When you're trying to see who can get drafted the highest and get the biggest signing bonus.
I don't want to talk down on our boy Tristan Stivers, his name, but Levi may be the best name out of the combine in a while because of the season that he had too. He had 13 strikeouts in a complete game that he threw this year. So just the things that he's been able to do, pretty good. And that wasn't just like a no nothing game, It's a pretty good series.
So you think that he's a better name coming out of this season than Stivers?
I think more people know about Levi than they did about Tristan, right? Tristan, he needed that UT win and then that finish at Stanford to kind of levy all the things that he had. And then Tristan, it just worked out that he was a senior. He's graduating that same year.
I'm going to disagree. I think that it was more of casual fans didn't know who this guy was. I think Levi Wells, because he's a starting pitcher, right? I think that helps a little bit more when it comes to name recognition. But I do believe that the scouts and the people who are important, front office guys, they had an idea what Tristan was bringing to the table. They have an idea what Levi was bringing to the table.
Just at the one game that I went to in San Marcos, I saw 2 scouts there, one from Cleveland and one from somewhere else. Pittsburgh, maybe? Yeah.
Very cool. Cleveland needs pitching. Hopefully we don't see him against the Twins.
Athletics released their year in review, 2023 year in review. Zimmel, if you had to crown a champion out of all of the teams that we cover, I think it's kind of something you can't even argue. I think it's women's basketball, the best team, 2023.
Golf raised the banner.
That's true.
So let's stop right there. I
Regular
mean,
season championship, no?
Of the teams that we cover, women's basketball probably number one.
Nobody else is raising a lot of noise about golf's NIT win, so that's kind of a team we cover. Yeah,
it really is. It's just this podcast. So shout out the golf team. What about track and field? Track and field doesn't get any love.
No, track and field is good.
But you got to pick one.
Individual conference championships across the indoor and outdoor seasons. They won 16 Sunbelt championships. Isn't that crazy?
So who did the athletic department name?
They don't have a name, but the first team that they list is the women's basketball team, followed shortly by track and field.
There it is. I was 2 for 2. Yeah, no, I would go with women's basketball. I think that makes sense. It also helps, by the way, when you do these things. This is a little inside baseball for you. So you're going to put a list out like this, right? You put this list out right around the same time that people are visiting Texas State, recruits. So it's hey, the number one program at Texas State was our women's basketball program this previous year. I know they had recruits coming through San Marcos. You'd think that might have been, I don't know, maybe it was just a coincidence, maybe it's happenstance, but also I got to imagine that there is a little bit of the nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Hey, look at what we're doing over here. Nice way to get recruits. I don't blame them. I think it's a smart idea.
Their little highlight for football is new chapter of Bobcat football, just continuously wiping the slate clean.
I would like to buy the Texas State football book. In fact, Colton, Kef, I'm a writer now. Maybe I'll write one. Write the Texas State football book, because the first ton of pages we have, like the old school. We got the national championships in 83, 84, right? Or 82, 83. And then it's like a bunch of 3-page chapters, new chapter, GJ, and we got a lot of pages left, baby. So the question is, you're going to fill up the rest of these pages in volume 1 of Texas State football, or are you going to write us 3 pages and get the next chapter going? I hope that it's a longer
I would like
chapter.
to write the book just on the back-to-back years of being championship, national championship. That would be awesome. Just one book on that.
Yeah. Oh no, that would be great. I would love to do that. Because, and you know what I would name it? Sleeping Giant. That's what I would name it. Sleeping Giant, because that's what everybody at Texas State continues to refer to the football program as, is a sleeping giant.
Well, back then it wasn't a sleeping giant. It was just
I know. But you write the book after now almost 20 years of middling football. Think we became an FBS program in 2005, right? So we're pushing 2024. So we're at 19 years, almost 17 years. Look at my point is that you write this book on this 2-year run that Texas State was on. In fact, it was longer than that. I think it was closer to a 7-year run that they were on, where they continued to win games. You write this book on this great seasons that they had, and then you juxtapose it with in the back half. And then we went to FBS, and this is what it looked like. You know what I mean? But you show hey, you
very
show
drastic, what's it called?
Juxtaposition?
No, well,
difference.
What's that movie where there's no place like home?
Oh, Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, it's like a Wizard of Oz moment where they switch to color, or they switch from black and white to color, immediately. Yeah. They're like, whoa, oh shit.
Yeah. It would almost be like the opposite. You flip the switch from Technicolor back to black and white. You're like, oh yeah.
Back to the Gilded Age, bro. New volleyball schedule alert, Zimmy. I tweeted about this earlier, but Texas State's first exhibition, by the time you all hear this podcast, will be 45 days away, 44 days away, against UTSA.
When is that exhibition? That's coming in August?
That is it's August 19th, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, August 19th.
I love the exhibition that they have at the beginning of the season. If you remember, when we came on campus in 2016, they had Baylor was their first exhibition game. And Karen Chisholm talked to us at orientation being like, y'all asses need to be in the seats. And I went to those games. It was when the wall was still there. It was a great time. I had an incredible time watching the volleyball game. I will say, however, the people on my dorm floor in Tower, not as big of volleyball fans. I think they left after the first set. I locked in. I was like, nah, come on. Baylor beat us once. They can't beat us in 2 more sets than they did.
Dude, volleyball's awesome. I raised a banner in the city of McAllen in the inter-employee volleyball league. I'm a libero, as you can tell. I'm pretty short.
Yeah.
But, I did go 20-0 on serves one time. Just kept hitting to the same girl. Poor girl.
It's called bullying.
Yeah, it was all the lifeguards in McAllen versus Parks and Recreation staffers. So has-beens from high school, basically.
Yeah, see, okay. Got you.
Yeah, after they play UTSA, they'll head off to the Tennessee Classic in good old Rocky Top, where they'll play Marist College, Tennessee, and UT Martin.
You don't know this, fans of the podcast, but I have a hit list of places where I didn't get jobs, and Knoxville, Tennessee, it's top 3. Top 3 places where I was ready to go, and they didn't give me the call. So Knoxville, you were forever going to get a middle finger from Andrew Zimmel.
I think volleyball is one of those teams, too, that was like, how the fuck did we not get an invite to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I know. I get that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this pedigree that this program has is one of the best in the Sun Belt, for sure. The Sun Belt, I think, should be
the Sun Belt needs to get a better PR team. It needs to get a better PR team, because I love the conference, but you talk to people in the state, we just had Craven on a couple of weeks ago. He didn't have any love for the Sun Belt. I talked to people up here, no love for the Sun Belt. It's just Texas State doesn't have any, doesn't get the respect because the Sun Belt just doesn't have good PR. I just don't think that they are
good PR on the East Coast, but where it matters, closer to Texas, all the Texas schools are very good at volleyball,
Well, it's that, but also like if you talk to a fan in Alabama, do you think they're like Sunbelt? Do you think they give any respect outside of Mobile? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
also Texas State wasn't even part of the first few teams who had beach volleyball as a playable sport for the Sun. I think that was like what James Madison and like it was like 4 or 6 other teams, but
yeah,
they played in your favorite place ever, Coastal Carolina,
Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach. So I don't know, TBD. But there's a lot of like shakeups happening in volleyball, including beach volleyball, which is expanding across college sports. It feels like.
Yeah, when's my pickleball coming?
Dude, I just saw a pickleball place. I'm in the Valley, everybody, for not those of you not watching the show. I'm in the Valley right now again. So now I just saw a pickleball court over here blowing up.
If you or your loved one has been caught with the pickleball disease and you decided to pick up the paddle, I want to let you know you're not going to put it down, and it's a sport for 60-year-olds. And if I catch you playing pickleball and you're under the age of 60, I will be asking to see your AARP card.
I ran this story on Ken's 5 and Kens5.com, but pickleball, one of the leading causes for emergency room visits for seniors.
No kidding. What's number 2?
I don't know. I didn't look that one up. I'll be honest.
Sex.
Sex, you think?
100%.
Not podcasting?
No. This is a non-contact sport.
This is COVID safe. This is actually a COVID safe activity we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can't say the same about the other 2.
Go ahead.
I have
please.
a topic I want to throw at you. All right. So I did this on my other podcast. But 4th of July just came and went. And
You
I was
have another
thinking about,
podcast?
yeah, I was thinking about the whatchamacallit, the cookout, the barbecue. So I did this. I gave you 5, and I'll let you go first. 5 athletes that you would want at your Texas State cookout. Your Texas State barbecue, you get 5 athletes to invite to your Texas State cookout.
Current athletes?
Does not matter, current or former.
Brian London. Then I want... Ooh, Jeff Foster. That's a good one.
Jeff Foster would be a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other question was, what would you have these people bring?
Brian London. I think we'll do something easy, like potato salad, you know?
Potato salad? Okay.
Give him some kind of a layup. Jeff Foster definitely has to bring some sort of casserole. I feel like he'd be good at that. Indiana guy, you know?
Mm-hmm. I thought the same thing.
Who do I want now? Can I bring a coach, or does it just have to be
You could bring
player?
coach. Yeah, you could bring coach.
DJ's coming, and he has to bring something expensive. Like, you know, he's got to make an impression. I know he was in Hawaii, maybe? I don't know, somewhere tropical. But I think
roasted pig?
I think, yeah, roasted pig or maybe like sushi or something like that, you know?
You're bringing sushi to a cookout, though? That's what's tough.
I'd eat it.
Okay.
As long as it's chilled, you know, temperature controlled. Actually, as a part of the University Star, I had to take a food handler's course. So I know all the intricacies of that.
Okay. I'm thinking of one. Can I throw
Charles Austin.
Bring Charles Austin? What's Charles Austin bringing to the cookout?
I want him to bring like corn skewers. I'm a
So
sucker
that's
for those.
4.
Yeah.
That's 4. Now, there's one that I think is a layup here that you're missing.
I'm missing
Layup, think about sport.
Think of sport?
Yeah. I'm bringing Taylor Deere.
Oh,
I think this is a no-brainer. I was thinking about this all day. Taylor Deere coming to the cookout, pick any dish because she's watched these people prepare so many different ones. If you want her to bring falafels, she probably could do that for you. You want her, she's from Houston, you want her to bring good barbecue, she probably could help you figure that out. Like, I think that is like the linchpin here for me. Like, I would
be like the organizer of the barbecues because she knows like what everybody would probably be.
Oh, 100%. No. And the other thing is, so that was your 5, and I liked your 5. I don't think I bring GJ.
You think you'd mess up the vibe?
No, I don't think you'd mess up the vibe. I just need somebody that's going to bring a good dessert.
No.
So if I had
I don't have a sweet tooth. That's the difference between me and you.
Well, you know, the cookout has to have something here. So I'm bringing Coach Z because I think Coach Z would make really good desserts. I don't know if she
Coach
does or not.
Chisholm and cookies? That'd be fun.
Oh, yeah, Coach Chisholm and cookies. That would be another good one. But yeah, no, I like your 5. That's not a bad 5. I would go Brady McBride because he's my boy. Homie. We're bringing him. He's from Memphis, so he's bringing Memphis he played at Memphis, so I'm having him bring Memphis barbecue. I know he's
from
got
there. Where's he from?
He's from Texas, but he played at Memphis for that year. So
I'm
having him. It was a 3-star out of some Dallas school, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, point is, bringing my Memphis barbecue. Okay, I like your Foster one. I am gonna go with uh um KGT.
Hmm. Tyler
I'm
Gilbert, Tilbury.
yeah. He's played all over the place. I think that he'd be really good. A little chicken Alfredo action. So we'll bring him. Okay, because I think he played in Italy. I'm pretty sure he played in Italy for a year.
Mamma mia.
Chisholm, because I liked your Chisholm with the sweet tooth. I think she would be pretty good.
Oh yeah,
That
she definitely knows how to throw it down, bakery style.
Taylor Deer was my pick, so I'm bringing her. And I need that fifth one. I don't know. I'm trying to
Jessica
steer away
Mullins.
from. I'm. You know what? I'm bringing Jessica Mullins because I know she's gonna bring the drinks. I know she's got me
Ooh,
covered.
yeah.
I know she's got me covered for the drinks.
Special
so yeah, there
cocktail
it
by
is.
Jessica Mullins.
Cocktail. I don't know if she's bringing cocktails.
No,
Might bring some 30 rack.
I like the those barrel fruit punches. They
Yeah,
like
the
a little
porks.
barrel. That'd be fire, bro.
Yeah. You know what? Jessica Mullins, she is still a college student though, so we couldn't give her anything like for free. We'd have to make her pay to come into the barbecue. But yeah, that would be a fun time.
Be a good time.
Yeah.
Ah,
No. So
damn it,
but
we totally forgot about like Randy Rupp or this is such a good question.
see, that's what I'm saying. So this is where
Cat
we leave it.
Osterman. What would you have the goat bring?
This is where we lead things too. If you have your Bobcat cookout, your Bobcat barbecue, give us 5 athletes. This is where you cut this for a clip. Give us 5 athletes that you would bring to the Bobcat barbecue. Think about it. And you got to say who you're bringing and what they're bringing.
I feel like if I told Brian London to bring something like very expensive, he would immediately be like, "No, I'm not bringing that." Like
I thought you were
it's
gonna say-
all about the way that you ask somebody, like or maybe
I
he'll
thought
be
you-
insulted that I asked him to bring potato salad.
I thought you were going to say he's in Denver right now. Little Orange Crush.
That's
You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
funny.
Be a whole different barbecue.
But this is all happening in San Marcos outside.
Oh, yeah. We're having this at Aqua Arena for sure.
Fire. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So think about it. Give us your answers. Post them on Facebook. Post them on Twitter. And we'll probably end up reading them later because I like the 4th of July deal, but this is something we can do all summer, man. Let's keep them going. Give me all the ones you got.
As you can tell, me and Zim were just farting around here because there's not a ton to talk about in July.
What are you talking about? We're killing
coming
it.
off
I'm
of
having a great time.
honestly we're killing it. But it's like the things that we're talking about. Last couple weeks ago we were talking about the impact of decisions made at the Regents meeting in San Marcos. It's not the same kind of work that we're doing now. Talking about 4th of July and Coach Chisholm and cookies. Big Game Boomer on Twitter.
I told you, these guys, you can't bring these guys up.
It's so funny though, because they said Texas State's biggest strength was our punter. Shout out Seamus O'Kelly. And if you're not following Sione Tupo on Twitter, you're missing out on some great tweets because he shouted out Seamus. And then he had another really good one about the river. So I've been retweeting them, hard retweets on our account, just riding or dying with Sione Tupo.
I hit my tweet limit, so I can't see them anymore.
Is that a thing though? Like, because I've been scrolling all day now.
I hit my tweet limit earlier today.
Yeah, June 22nd. Don's Fish Camp is calling my name. Me too, Sayona. Me too. GJ Kinney tweeted out his brand new glasses for camp. You like them?
I did like them. I'm a big Oakley's guy. You hated them?
No,
Yeah,
I love them.
I was a big Oakley's guy. Once I got out of playing baseball, though, I haven't anymore. And I'm now 25 years old, which means I legally am able to get LASIK. You have to be 25 to get LASIK. So
really?
that's, yeah.
You can vote, or you can become the president and you can get LASIK surgery at 25. How fun.
35 to be president.
Really? Damn.
Dude, every day the joke that I make that you're not from here you walk into these, bro. You got to know. Can we get you to say the Pledge of Allegiance, Jacob?
I don't ask me who's on the penny and stuff either. I know who's on the penny. It's Abe Lincoln.
I don't know if you pass the citizenship test, bro. We need
that's our next segment on Squaring Around. Can Jacob pass the citizenship test?
It's a tough look for you. So anyway, you gotta be 25 to get LASIK. I am thinking about it. I've considered it. It's that and rhinioplasty surgery are the two things I've thought about here. And once I do get my LASIK, I will be getting Oakleys and just PC principal all the time.
I was a lifeguard in McAllen. I already talked about this on this podcast, but my brand of choice is the Oakleys. Recently, though, and I'll tell you this, covering football in 2 different parts of the state, right? Central Texas now, and then down south in Corpus Christi is a different look. Those guys wear a lot of Ray-Bans and stuff. I actually have a pair of big Ray-Ban aviators that I love to death. But these Oakleys are pretty sick that he has. And they also have a little Take Back Texas thing on the side. And GJ they branded the shit out of it for his camps too, where he's just like the big GJ Kinney, shirts with the glasses on them. I thought that was fun. They're really leaning into it.
It's a good look. It's a good look. We just hope that the success on the football field matches.
It's crazy that they could have done this 2 coaches ago and then chose not to.
Everything happens for a reason. You had to go to Incarnate Word. You had to put up the offense that you put up before you got this job. I get it. It makes sense.
No, I'm saying Spavital, Withers. Those names ring a bell for you, Andy?
Spavital and Withers?
Yeah.
More than a bell.
It's kind of like Matthew McConaughey's green lights, Green lights, yellow lights turn into red lights, turn into green lights.
Yeah.
I'm
part of the resistance that has refused to read that book. Everybody in my life has read that book except me.
I'm about to read it right now. The football team is basically just posting hype videos of them working out. If you don't want to watch that, you want to see some real results, real fast, brought to you by Real Training, aka Brett Huth, the coaching staff over there. Watch Nash freaking Jones. Clean 385. That's a scary sight.
That's insane. I thought this was going to be go right into a live read. You want to see real results? I don't know. I watched those videos.
His hashtag. It's real REAL all caps training. Brett Huth. I think that's how you pronounce that.
I think football fans are the same people. The people who watch those like weightlifting videos are the same people who watch the volleyball scene from Top Gun over and over and over again.
You know what? I was kind of mad about the new Maverick is that they got rid of the volleyball. They played touch football.
No, they created a whole new game of football.
Yeah, it was like 2 footballs at the same time. Miles Teller.
It was awful.
And that One Republic song.
Yeah, no, that honestly, another hot take from Zimmel. Maverick wasn't very good. Wasn't impressed.
It saved cinema, Zim.
Did it?
That's why everybody's like, nah, it's cool that Tom Cruise is a Scientologist. He's
a weirdo.
Cinema. Yeah.
Isn't it funny that they made him do Maverick and then they were like, now you can do Mission Impossible.
Yeah, a real Mission Impossible for him would be to do a movie with Leia Remini at this point.
Ooh. That's a good look at that. Good little inside baseball joke there.
That's pretty good. And we'll learn a lot more about the team. We're going to have a lot more availability with them. July 25th and the 26th. That's for Sunbelt Media Days. Zimmel and I are already, I guess, booked, pre-approved. How do you say that? For all that stuff. So we're going to have availability with GJ and whoever they bring, which is usually a senior or somebody that they're really looking at.
Have they not announced it yet?
I don't think so. They haven't announced who's going. It's going to be
that's
GJ
insane.
And 2 players. That's usually what they do.
No, well, I understand the 2 players part, but that's insane that they haven't announced it yet because I think everybody else has.
Have you seen
Sunbelt, but like other conferences are having their media days, and like I think it's next week for the.
It could be this one. Dave Campbell's just released their 2023 preseason DCTF All Texas team. We're in a big Slack channel with all the other people across our network, obviously. And Craven pitched it to me as, hey, there's somebody from every team on this list. And I was like, badass. Let me see.
If it's Seamus, I'm calling the police. If it's Seamus,
it's not Seamus, unfortunately. Yeah. It's not Seamus. Though it would be pretty good ad if you're talking about just Sunbelt players. All Texas offense. Best quarterback, Frank Harris. Best running back, Richard
Whoa,
Reed.
whoa, 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 whoa,
Baylor.
whoa, 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 whoa.
I knew that would set you off.
Whoa, Frank Harris
I know. And that
over the guy up 35, who's a 5-star, who might be the best quarterback in college football this year potentially.
he's a true freshman. Arch Manning?
Quinn Ewers.
Oh, Quinn. Well, this is them buying into the fact that he
Quinn.
may have played kind of shitty at what was it called? Spring game.
You know what? You know, the A&M fans hate Craven.
It's
the
the
Texas State fans
sexiest
hate
thing.
Craven. I'm going to say this. Frank Harris on the first team offense in the Texas.
Not just first team offense, best quarterback.
That's a take. That's a take. And, you know, I understand because they wanted to check all the boxes. What UT players on this list is my question then.
I got you.
Because that is
best offensive lineman is UT, and also best wide receiver, Xavier Worthy.
All right. I like the wide receiver, the offensive line, whatever. They spent enough money to get a good offensive line. Quinn Ewers not getting named. All right. Good.
And
good
best,
for them. Frank Harris.
well, part of the first team offense, the tight end, offensive line guy. Yeah. That's the entire first team offense. Is 3 guys from UT, basically.
That makes okay. All right, you know what? That's fine. But Frank Harris, I mean, that's not anything against him. I'm just really surprised that they think so low of Quinn Ewers, especially when you consider that they put Texas at number 1 in the power rankings to start the season. And I have to imagine in big part because of Quinn. So whatever. It's
second team offense, their quarterback is Quinn Ewers.
Okay, so they put him on second team. That's fine. All right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's crazy because UTSA and Texas play. I think I'm taking UT all day.
Oh, yeah, every day and twice on Saturday. So what's the Texas State player? We beat around the bush enough.
Defensive back, Torrey Spears.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think he could be one of those media guys because was one of the first people I think that had availability from the department. People were kind of surprised to see him back too. He's huge to play corner. He's like 6'2" or 6'1" or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Spears 100% should be at media day. Who would be your offensive pick?
Offensive pick? I don't know. I don't think they're going to bring a quarterback. Is my hot take.
They will not bring a quarterback. They've never brought a quarterback, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they brought Brady either.
Really?
I don't think so. I think they kept it pretty close to the chest.
Oh man, what a mystery that turned into.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't think that they
didn't bring Tyler Jones.
They did. Tyler Jones. I don't think so. I think Withers was very anti-quarterback.
I'm trying to think who they brought. They brought Brian like 2 years in a row.
They brought Brian 3 years in a row. Brian was there like every year.
Every year, but his freshman year.
I'm serious. He was there all the time.
That's crazy,
because it made sense.
Yeah,
but they brought Aaron Brewer. They brought.
Oh
Aaron Brewer. Yeah. So the safest picks usually are like grab a defense player, grab an offensive lineman, and you're good to go. Don't bring a quarterback. Texas is bringing Quinn Ewers to Big 12. So
as they should. Like if you want to totally make sure that his nuts are still hanging by him and not getting dangled in front of him by Arch.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you.
So shout out Craven for giving us one guy on there.
It's funny. Well, it's funny that Craven and like Dave Campbell's right. They've done so much for us, but at the same time, they find ways to just drive me up the wall.
Just a little, they're just twisting the screwdriver in us.
But it's kind of like an umpire, right? If he pisses off both fans, then he's a good umpire. And if Craven finds a way to get underneath everybody's skin in the state of Texas, he's doing his job.
What the fuck is this strike zone, Crave?
I like it. I think it's fine. I think, we got one DB. That's fine. I'll take it.
Just one player in general. So
we'll take it.
Just happy to be part of the list. I didn't think Texas State was going to make it at all, actually.
That happened to us one year. They did like an all Sunbelt team. It was another publication. They did an all Sunbelt team, and they forgot Texas State completely. Like Texas State didn't make the list at all. And when it was called out, because every other team had at least one person, it was called out on Twitter. They were like, "Well, Texas State isn't any good, so like, what do we matter?" And I was like, "No, hold on a second. Coastal Carolina won one game. Like, what are we doing here?" So, like, especially because they went down, like, they went every position. They were like left tackle, right tackle, offensive line. You know what I mean? And it was like Texas got 0. And, Aaron Brewer's in the league still, and he didn't get on the list. It was like, what the hell are we doing here?
I saw your boy Scott Watkins had a pretty good list, or not good list, a good tweet talking about UTSA. He was like, I knew UTSA was going to be good, but it looks like it has a real chance to win 2 different conference titles according to the Athlon, which is like I guess an athletic site or whatever. But they were doing these lists too.
It's this one.
There you go.
It's this one. Yeah.
Hey, you have it. What a coincidence! Is that why you're cutting down your food budget to continuously buy all these things?
Yeah, no, I have 17 different college football magazines coming my way. Dave Campbell's, Athlon, the Philip Lindsay one, and then all of the different fantasy football magazines. This is the time of year where I go broke because I buy all of the print publications. If anybody ever accuses me of not supporting print journalism, they're a liar and a thief, because I am the single person in America who supports print journalism more than anybody else. Nobody does what I do. I go to the stand and buy the newspaper. I don't get the digital subscription to the New York Times. I don't get the digital subscription to the Athletic. I go and buy Sports Illustrated. I go and buy the local newspaper. I am the reason print journalism is alive.
Anyway, the Athlon says that UTSA could win the AAC and also the CUSA. So
yeah, that makes sense.
You've been able to find any typos in your book? Does anything really piss you off when you read it back?
You know what's funny is that I refuse to go back and read it. And I've had a couple people who have been like, oh, you should go back and read it. It's so good. And I'm like, no, why would I do that? I read it like 3 different times. Anything that slipped through the cracks, it's through the cracks. Congratulations. You got me. As
your former editor, that does not surprise me at all, because you would never read changes and you would never even read the finished product. So
Nope. I still have not read anything that I wrote in college.
That's crazy.
Nope. Because I read it, I wrote it. Why would I need to reread it? And as an editor, it's your job to fix it. So don't pretend that it's like, so what's this deal? If you have a question about hey, we need one more fact, I'll give you that fact. I read the corrections. I saw that we need to change correctly to corrected. And whatever. Good catch. What do I care?
You're already writing the next thing.
I'm already on the next thing. I'm very anti-editor.
That's all the shit I had to talk about, Zim.
What's the weather like? Let's do a temperature check.
It's hot as fuck over here. You want to know exactly? Hang on. Give me a sec. Opening my weather app right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sweating my ass off in McAllen, Texas. 90 degrees right now at 6:30 p.m. on a Wednesday.
6:30 p.m. on a Wednesday. It is 67 degrees. 67 degrees in North Dakota. So
the high today was 94, which I think is bullshit. It was so goddamn hot today.
The one time of the year that makes sense to live in this part of the country is from July to September. July to September is when everybody else in the world is 90s and 100s and high 80s. And up here, it consistently is mid 70s to high 80s. That's as high as it'll get. We had a couple 90s a couple days ago, and I was like, it's kind of warm. I've worn a hoodie 90% of the time through the year. So if you are somebody who thinks to themselves, I want to move for summers, I want a summer in a cooler climate, here's the deal. Minnesota has 10,000 of those damn lakes. Y'all buy lake houses for millions of dollars. 10,000 of them. You could get one lake house up here, summer up here, and then come back to Texas in the winter. Problem solved.
Hey-o. Nice.
I know. I'm free game. And then lastly, Facebook, we're there. Twitter, we're there. Putting the pods up. And
Twitter, we never left. We just got neutered a little bit.
Yes. Go read the Sports Radio Bible, available only on Amazon.com. It's doing quite well. Thank you for all the support on the podcast.
Badass, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. New episodes out every Thursday. Follow the boys on Twitter. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up.